Hey there, welcome back to Mobiolab. Before we get into anything else, I need you to pause for just a second and really focus on what I'm about to say. This might honestly save your life or the life of someone you care about. What I'm sharing today is something most doctors never mention during a regular checkup. It's something that happens quietly, in the dark, while you're completely unaware, and it's harming people every single night. Let me tell you about a good friend of mine, Harold. He was a retired teacher, 71 years old, from Columbus, Ohio. One morning, his wife found him unresponsive. He had gone to bed feeling just fine. No chest pain, no warning signs. By the time the ambulance got there, he was already gone. The cause? A massive heart event that happened while he was asleep. When I looked back at what Harold had been going through in the months before, I found something his primary doctor had completely missed. Something millions of seniors are doing right now without realizing it. Something that quietly damages the heart, thickens the blood, and sets the stage for stroke or sudden death. A major study published in the European Heart Journal followed more than 84,000 adults between 60 and 80 years old for 9 years. The researchers found that people who followed a certain set of nighttime habits had a 67% higher risk of dying from a heart-related problem during sleep compared to those who made simple changes to their evening routine. 67%. That's not a small number. That's the difference between waking up tomorrow and not waking up at all. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, but Dr. Lee, I feel fine. I sleep fine. This doesn't apply to me. And that's exactly the kind of thinking that costs lives. The most dangerous conditions don't announce themselves. They build up silently, month after month, like rust inside a pipe, invisible until the pipe bursts. Today, I'm going to walk you through 6 things seniors need to stop doing before bed. These are ranked from number 6 down to number 1, and the closer we get to number 1, the more critical it becomes. I'll tell you right now, number 2 on this list shocked even me when I first saw the research, and most of you have no idea you're doing it. So stick with me all the way to the end, because missing even one of these could cost you everything. But before we dive in, I'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below telling me how old you are and whether you've ever woken up in the middle of the night with your heart racing or feeling like you can't catch your breath. I read every single comment here, and your answers genuinely help me make better content for you. All right, let's get started. Coming in at number 6, and this one might surprise you because it seems so harmless, is eating a big meal within 2 hours of going to bed. I know millions of people do this every night. A late dinner, a large snack, some leftovers before turning in. It feels comforting, but here's what's actually happening inside your body, and it's not pretty. When you eat a large meal, your digestive system needs a huge surge of blood flow to process that food. Your heart has to work much harder to pump blood to your stomach and intestines. For a 30-year-old, that's manageable. But researchers at the University of Sao Paulo found that in adults over 65, this after-meal stress increases blood pressure by an average of 22 points and raises heart rate for up to 3 hours. Now imagine that happening while you're lying flat and asleep with your body already in its most vulnerable state. There's also the issue of acid reflux and something called vagal stimulation. When stomach acid travels upward, which happens much more easily when you're lying down on a full stomach, it can actually trigger irregular heart rhythms in people who are prone to them. After age 70, the valve that keeps acid down weakens a lot, making this problem much worse. The fix is simple. Finish your last full meal at least 3 hours before bed. If you're truly hungry in the evening, a small, easy-to-digest snack like a few walnuts or half a banana is fine. Pair this with a short 10-minute walk after dinner. Research from the University of Limerick found that just 10 minutes of walking after a meal reduces blood sugar spikes by 28% and takes significant pressure off your heart during the night. This one change alone, if you make it tonight, starts protecting your heart immediately. Now let's move to number 5, and this is something your doctor has almost certainly never mentioned. Nearly 60% of seniors over 70 do this every evening without a second thought. I'm talking about taking your blood pressure medication in the morning when you should actually be taking it at night. A groundbreaking study in the European Heart Journal followed more than 19,000 patients over 6 years. The researchers found that people who took their blood pressure meds at bedtime instead of in the morning had a 45% lower risk of heart attack, a 49% lower risk of heart failure, and a stunning 66% lower risk of stroke. The reason is something called nocturnal hypertension. Blood pressure that spikes dangerously high in the early morning hours, usually between 3 and 6 a.m. That's the window when most heart attacks and strokes happen. When you take your medication in the morning, it peaks around midday and wears off by that dangerous early morning window. But when you take it at night, it's working at full strength exactly when your body needs it most. Now, critically, do not change your medication timing without talking to your doctor first. Every situation is different, and some meds must be taken with food, but bring this study to your next appointment and have that conversation. It could genuinely save your life. Number 4 on our list is something I call the silent dehydration trap. It's one of the most underestimated heart risks for people over 65. Here's the dangerous irony. Most seniors purposely drink less water in the evening to avoid waking up for bathroom trips. That instinct makes total sense on the surface, but what it does to your blood while you sleep is terrifying. As we age, our kidneys become less efficient at concentrating urine. Plus, the body's thirst mechanism, controlled by a part of the brain called the hypothalamus, gets blunted after about age 60. Research from the University of Connecticut found that older adults can be significantly dehydrated without ever feeling thirsty. Now here's where it connects directly to your heart and brain. When you're dehydrated during sleep, your blood becomes thicker and stickier. Think of the difference between water flowing through a pipe versus honey. That thick blood is much harder for your heart to pump, and it also forms clots more easily, which is exactly how strokes happen. A study in the American Journal of Epidemiology found that adults over 65 who were even mildly dehydrated at bedtime had blood viscosity levels similar to those seen right before a stroke. The solution isn't to chug water right before bed. That'll just have you in the bathroom all night. Instead, drink a full glass of water with electrolytes, especially potassium and magnesium, about 2 hours before sleep. Foods naturally rich in potassium, like a small sweet potato or a few dried apricots in the late afternoon, help maintain hydration through the night without flooding your bladder. Magnesium has the added benefit of relaxing artery walls and actually lowering blood pressure during sleep. Together, these two nutrients act like a gentle protective cushion for your heart overnight. Before we go further, if this channel has been helpful to you, please take 5 seconds right now to hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. We're a community of people who believe that aging powerfully is absolutely possible. Every like and subscription helps us reach more seniors who need this information. It truly means the world to me and to this community. All right, let's keep going because we're getting into the most critical territory now. Number 3 breaks my heart because I see it every single week, and I saw it firsthand with a patient of mine named Dorothy, 78 years old, from Tucson, Arizona. Dorothy came to me after her second minor stroke in 18 months. She was on all the right medications. She exercised, she ate reasonably well. But when I asked her about her evenings, she described something I immediately recognized as a serious problem. Yes, every night without fail, Dorothy spent 2 to 3 hours lying in bed, scrolling through her tablet, news, social media, family videos, with the screen just inches from her face. She had no idea this habit was directly destabilizing her heart night after night. Here's the science. The blue light from screens, phones, tablets, televisions, directly suppresses melatonin production. Most people think of melatonin as just a sleep hormone, but researchers at Brigham and Women's Hospital, affiliated with Harvard, have shown that melatonin plays a critical role in protecting the heart. It's a powerful antioxidant that protects the lining of your blood vessels from the kind of damage that leads to plaque buildup, stiff arteries, and eventually heart attack and stroke. When melatonin is suppressed by nighttime screen use, that protective shield is lowered. In adults over 70, whose natural melatonin production is already reduced by 75% compared to younger adults, this suppression is especially devastating. A study in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology found that chronic nighttime light exposure was linked to a 43% increase in major heart problems in older adults. Dorothy followed my advice, a strict no-screen policy after 8 p.m. Within 6 weeks, she told me she was sleeping more deeply than she had in years. Within 4 months, her inflammatory markers, specifically something called C-reactive protein, had dropped by over 30%. She hasn't had another cardiac event since. Stop the screens 2 hours before bed. It's one of the most powerful heart decisions you can make. Number 2, and I promised you this one would surprise you, is sleeping on your back. Now, before you close this video and tell me I've lost my mind, please hear me out, because the research behind this is undeniable. When you sleep flat on your back, gravity causes your tongue and the soft tissues in your throat to fall backward, partially or fully blocking your airway. This is the main driver behind obstructive sleep apnea, a condition affecting an estimated 50% of adults over 65, most of whom have never been diagnosed. During these apnea episodes, your brain sounds an emergency alarm, flooding your body with stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. Your blood pressure can spike to dangerous levels, dozens, sometimes hundreds of times per night. Each spike lasts only seconds, brief enough that you never fully wake up, but long enough to cause serious damage. The American Heart Association now officially recognizes untreated sleep apnea as a major risk factor for high blood pressure, irregular heartbeat, heart attack, and stroke. A study in the journal Circulation found that adults with moderate to severe sleep apnea had a 58% higher risk of a fatal heart rhythm problem during sleep. This is how seemingly healthy people die quietly in the night. If you share a bed, ask your partner if you snore or seem to stop breathing for moments during sleep. If you sleep alone, record yourself using your phone's voice memo app for one night. The signs are often unmistakable. Sleeping on your side, especially your left side, which reduces pressure on the heart, is dramatically protective. A simple body pillow behind your back can stop you from rolling over. For those with confirmed sleep apnea, a CPAP device is truly life-saving. Don't let stubbornness or discomfort keep you from using it. And now we've arrived at number 1. The single most dangerous bedtime habit for seniors, the one that ties all the others together and multiplies every heart risk I've described today. Are you ready? It's chronic, untreated emotional stress left to fester in the hours before sleep. Think about your typical evening for a moment. Do you watch the news? Politics, crime, disasters right before bed? Do you lie awake running through worries about your health, your money, your family? Do you replay difficult conversations or conflicts from the day? If so, you're engaging in what researchers at UC Berkeley call rumination before rest, and its impact on your heart is catastrophic. Here's the mechanism. When you experience psychological stress, your body releases cortisol and adrenaline, the same stress hormones triggered by sleep apnea, but in this case, they're sustained. Chronic evening stress keeps these hormones elevated all night long, preventing your blood pressure from completing its natural nighttime dip. In a healthy person, blood pressure drops 10 to 20% during sleep, giving the heart and blood vessels crucial recovery time. In people with chronic stress, that dip never fully happens. A 20-year study by the American Heart Association and Johns Hopkins found that adults who reported chronic nighttime worry and high evening stress had a 72% higher lifetime risk of fatal heart events compared to peers with lower evening stress. After age 70, when the body's ability to regulate cortisol is already reduced by about 40%, this effect is even more dangerous. This is what took my friend Harold. It wasn't just one thing. It was the accumulation, the late meals, the dehydration, the screens, the back sleeping, and underneath it all, a man who worried every night about his retirement finances without ever telling anyone. His heart never got the recovery time it desperately needed. The solution isn't complicated, but it has to be intentional. 30 minutes before bed, practice what I call a cardiac wind down. Turn off all news and screens. Write down 3 things that went well today. Real research from UC Berkeley's Greater Good Science Center shows this simple act measurably lowers cortisol within 20 minutes. Practice 4 to 7-8 breathing. Inhale for 4 counts, hold for 7, exhale slowly for 8. This activates your body's natural calm down system and directly lowers heart rate and blood pressure. If prayer or meditation is part of your life, this is its most powerful use, not just as a spiritual practice, but as genuine medicine for your heart. Pair this with magnesium glycinate, 200 to 400 milligrams, taken 30 minutes before bed. This form of magnesium crosses into the brain and directly calms the nervous system while also relaxing blood vessel walls. Studies from the National Institutes of Health show it reduces nighttime cortisol and improves sleep quality in adults over 65 by up to 39%. Think of it as a gentle hand on your heart's shoulder, telling it that it's safe to rest tonight. I want to close with something I say to every single patient I sit across from, no matter their age or condition. It is never too late. That's not empty encouragement. It's biological reality. The human body, even at 75, 80, or 85, has a remarkable ability to heal and adapt when we remove the things that are harming it. Your heart wants to beat steadily for decades more. Your brain wants to stay sharp. Your legs want to carry you to your grandchildren's birthdays, to your garden in the morning, to the porch in the evening. Every single change I described today, stopping late meals, adjusting your medication timing, staying hydrated, eliminating screens, changing your sleep position, protecting your emotional peace, each of these is within your reach tonight. Not next month, tonight. You didn't make it to this age by being weak. You made it here because you're resilient. And the people who love you need you to keep going. Not just to be alive, but to be present, vital, and yourself. That's what these habits protect. Not just your heartbeat, but your life. All the studies I mentioned today are linked in the description below. Please share this video with someone you love, a spouse, a sibling, a friend, because you may never know whose life it saves. If you're not subscribed to MoBioLab yet, please do that right now by clicking the button below. We release new content every week to help you live longer, stronger, and with the independence you deserve. And before you go, leave me a comment right now. Tell me, which of these 6 habits surprised you the most? And are you going to make any changes tonight? I read every single comment, and I look forward to hearing from you. Take good care of yourselves. I'll see you in the next one. If you enjoy content like this, make sure to subscribe to MoBioLab for more videos.